and worked up there in New York. And Irma didn't work in the field. Grandma, I didn't know she had cancer or whatever, so she would stay at home and cook for the family for half a day, except Mama cooked for her own family. And it just wasn't nobody out there really but Mama and Charles and them. I might pick 150 in the morning. I didn't do nothing.
150 barrels?
A pound.
You was a cotton picking sister, weren't you? What Mama them pick? 500 pounds?
Oh, Mama them was 300 and 400 pounds.
Without a problem, huh?
Without a problem. Charles and Mama used to race to see who picked the most. Well, all of that, when it got through, went into the family plot. Mm. It wasn't no more Mama and Charles and them then, because it all went together. So Mama got tired of that. Say, boy, I'm going to leave you.
So that's when she come up to Chicago?
No, that's when she went to stay with her mama. We didn't like her mama.
Oh, she left Daddy to go.
Yeah, went to stay with her mama.
Go slack. She was a slacker.
Yeah, she left and went. So whatever money she made went in her pocket for her and her kids.
Did she make a lot?
Well, she made what she would have made
by herself
out there, but they just never got what she would have made out there with the family. So Mom pulled up out of this family thing.
But see, it was good for everybody though that everybody pushed in like that. Some go outwork the other. But they weren't out there, though.
But they wasn't out there. Yeah. But nobody out there but her and Charles and Herman and stuff. And so Charles and them, they began to get tired of working for the whole family. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So Mildred, Mick skipped the cotton picking, huh?
No. Well, they wasn't in the field until after I came up here.
They was too young?
Yeah.
How old you had to be to get to the field?
Well, there was another baby there, and, they babysitted the baby. I went to the field.
What was the other baby? Joe?
Let me see, who babysitted?
Billy older than Joe? No.
Joe, then Billy.
Then Sherry.
Joe, Billy. Let me see.
Sherry.
Wait a minute, get them right. Joe, baby brother, Clee, Joe, and as far as the boys is concerned, then Billy, and and Billy and Ricky the same age or whatever. But that was Sherry is in between Billy.
Billy and Deborah.
Uh-huh.
And then there's Christopher.
Yeah, Chris was the baby.
Is his name Christopher?
Deborah the baby girl.
Is his name Christopher?
Yeah, his name Christopher.
Ain't that something? I just was joking around with that boy named Christopher.
His name actually is Christopher.
Ain't that something? Ain't that Christian White?
Yeah. But he was born up here after they came up here.
In Robbins?
Yeah. So he was born here. But Deborah was born down south. Deborah
So ain't no more outshoots come up besides Charlotte?
Carter. I knew about Carter. Carter older than Charlotte. I didn't know Charlotte until Daddy, almost time before Daddy died. That's when
I'm glad you stopped being mad at Charlotte.
I wasn't mad at Charlotte.
You wasn't embracing. I had to tell you that's your sister and all that, and I understand.
I wasn't embracing because I didn't know her, and.
Well, she looked just like Betty and sound just like all y'all.
Now that's one didn't embarrass her to her grave, to her death. She still said a bitch better not come out. She probably said it now. I told Cassandra yesterday. I said, Cassandra, you gonna take Hannah some of Charlotte's food because Charlotte cooked her up a dinner too. She said, yeah, I'm gonna go warm it up and tell her because I know he ain't eating with her. I said, Betty gonna call you all kind of names in her spirit. So she told me today, that's what she was telling me today. She said she was in there warming warming up, fixing him some food. So he had to go get him something because he couldn't eat anything with salt. Well, Charlotte don't use salt, but her seasoning have
Salt
that
in.
salty taste.
Yeah, that's what I don't use. I don't use salt. I put a little salt in here, a little pink salt, but if I salt in the sauces or whatever, in the meat and all that stuff, I just leave it like that.
Yeah.
I don't like smoking and all that.
Yeah, but Charlotte's food tastes good. Now I can eat Charlotte's food. Cinnamon food is good, but they too salty for me now.
And and that's why when your little nappy head granddaughters came out there to West Bend, Maryland kids, the fast talker and in the mute. Tisha.
Tisha, yeah.
They tell me, you ain't got no salt in here. I say, well, damn, that's salt. It's they pour salt on their food. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. So they don't.
Yeah. So now, since I got older, everything got a deeper taste to it. Even the sweet stuff is too sweet.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to kind of go light on different stuff for me now. But Charlotte has some good food. Now I can eat Charlotte's food as far as the salt is concerned. She said I don't use salt. She said she used stuff with like seasoning.
Seasoning and salt.
Yeah.
Which is the same thing.
Yeah. So anyway, but she didn't.
I use Miss Dash and stuff like that without no salt on.
Yeah, that's what I was using when I was cooking.
Yeah.
But this is like I said, Cynthia, she cooked good, but she used a lot of salt on Hannah.
So
Not Hannah,
besides Walter and Carter and Charlotte G.
Yeah.
What's the other brothers and sisters that you?
I don't know.
They out there though.
They're the two I know.
They out there.
Yeah. Betty told me he said he had some kids up in Michigan. I know Uncle Marvin did. Uncle Marvin brought all the hills out and told Cecil and them who they were.
Who is Cecil?
His son.
Who is his wife?
Irma. Uncle Marvin and Louis and them, well, you didn't know too much about them, I guess. And, Sherman there?
I know Sherman.
Well, Sherman.
I was surprised. I didn't know that Sherman was Sherman because he had teeth in his mouth. Every time I knew Sherman, he had the green. He had the green. Because they was everywhere.
Yeah.
It was like arthritis fingers in his mouth.
Yeah.
But he was cool. He was always cool.
Yeah, he always come down there. He would always come down.
Him and that girl that had the Mustang. What was her name?
Yeah.
Denise or something like that.
Yeah, he beat her.
Cynthia was her name.
Cynthia, her name was Cynthia. He beat her and took the car, and
Yeah.
brought it down there.
Yeah.
He get to driving. He just keep on driving. Yeah. So that's the story. So, well, dog, y'all should have hid y'all's own story first before you trying to hide mine.
Cool.
Mama and them.
What story she tried to hide? Oh, you talking about with her and Daddy and Charles
right.
not being there.
You ain't good enough to be no rather. Well, you ain't good enough to be there neither. Because you done did worse than me.
But see, she was disappointed in herself. Probably her granny probably came at her.
That's what I told her though. So when I asked her when she was staying with me, I said, "Why you do me so bad then? If Charles was born when you was 12 or 13. Michael was born when I was 14 going on 15. But why you do me so bad? Because I didn't want you to be like my mama. Mama, like grandmama, like I told you, was kind of like milk. And I was like, but she ain't got but 4 kids. You got 13, I got 13. So I'm more like you, right? Than I am grandma. Right? Yeah.
You asking me?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, as far as having children and all that stuff there.
I didn't want you to be like
what she was saying is that, her mama was loose. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And she didn't want you to be that party drinking loose type woman that her grandmama had against her mama. So her grandmama was telling her
Probably.
about how her mama was. What was her name? Her mama name
Savannah.
Savannah. Miss Savannah, that, you know what I'm saying, was worldly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, just start with one little boy and then, say, okay, she just in their face all the time. You know what I'm saying? That type of thing. She ain't want, what hers was, I mean, she had some type of grounding from her grandmama, like, this is acceptable. This what good little girls do. This is what good little women do, and things like that. You want to be respectable. You know what I'm saying? So, and she didn't consider herself like that because, I mean, however, whatever she chose and had her first Charles L.
Yeah.
What those circumstances were. You know what I'm saying? Like, she probably didn't know your circumstances with Wallace.
I was in love like she was in love.
Right, but she wasn't. But she wasn't.
She
didn't know who she was in love. She had daddy and the other fella that didn't know.
Yeah.
Unless it was other circumstances.
Yeah.
You know, if it's grandpa Johnny, then that's a whole different.
Yeah.
Understanding. Hey, come here, little girl. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
you like my son. You like my son, but I'm, whatever that went. So that could have been.
Whatever that went through.
Right. So her thing, she could have been a good little girl, but little girls in the South in those times, they were marrying and things to get more kids. I mean, this is what the historians say and all that stuff there, and it was acceptable because and the life expectancy was shorter.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? People were dying of different, maladies and things like that they can treat for, and that you can live a long life with a shot of something out.
Yeah.
And so it was a different culture then. It was a agrarian culture, or agricultural culture.
Yeah.
So she was probably, whatever circumstance that happened with Charles L. or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so she was probably still considered herself wholesome, but she loved somebody. She loved, daddy, and you know what I'm saying, or whatever, and that whatever circumstance happened like that.
Yeah.
And she looked at her mom. Her mama was a harlot, according to her grandmama. You know what I'm saying? I'm just imagining.
Yeah, I see you out there. I understand.
Yeah. So, her mom, but yeah. So, and her grandma was a church lady.
Whatever.
Oh, she was.
I don't know.
Oh, I'm just trying to fit a profile in.
Mama just told me she was mean. She made her do this. She made her do. But so we ain't been way back because I really wasn't interested in them old people back in them days. So when she was talking, something I would listen at, but something I would just be glad to get up and get out. I don't care nothing about your grandmama. Mm-hmm. I know my grandma. I know daddy's mama. I liked her better than I did mama. So, but as far as them getting flawed.
Why you like her mama? Why you like daddy mama more than you like your Savannah granny? Like Merlin grandkids call you Grandma Maddie, Granny Maddie.
Grandmama, like I said, grandmama was one of these little hossy-tossy fast.
That's Miss Savannah.
Miss Savannah. You couldn't touch. If that picture right there was grandmama's picture sitting on that thing, it better be sitting there. You couldn't touch that. You go up there to look at that, you couldn't touch that.
Oh, that's daddy mama.
That's mama.
Oh, yeah?
Uh-huh.
She was a no-toucher, hotsy-totsy.
Yeah, you couldn't touch her stuff. She had lace dollies laying on the back of the couch. If you sit on that couch, that dolly bit doesn't move. Oh. Stuff like that. So, but grandmama, they got a big house, people coming through, grandkids running through all the time. So,
it was lived in and loved in.
Yeah.
That type of thing.
They when they cooked, they had 2 kitchens. They always had fields of corn and beans and stuff like that. So they always had a lot of vegetables and stuff. So where we were there, it wasn't you got to go home and eat. Mm. It's for some tin can tops or whatever there on the table, on the floor, whatever, feed the kids.
But at Miss Savannah house, you can't eat. You got to go home and eat.
Oh, they had a certain time they set the table and they.
Oh, they was highfalutin.
Yeah, but Mama and them though, we came up. We couldn't stand up at the table. Mama made benches. She did. Daddy didn't. Mama made benches to go with the table. She made the table and the.
She was a carpenter too, huh?
Yeah, yeah, pretty much. Yeah, and she made benches. And we had to sit down at the table, and whoever took that food out of the pot on the stove and put it in a bowl, it was put in that bowl and set in the middle of the table until it got everything on the table. And then that's when everybody, by that time,
pass it around.
You should wash your face and hands, and you at the table.
So how many of y'all was down there? And Chris was the only one that wasn't down there. Born down there.
Chris was.
You was already gone before Billy was born.
Billy was born. Billy was born down there. Billy and Ricky was born down there, but Chris wasn't.
Right.
Chris the baby boy.
But I'm trying to see how many people was at this bench table.
Actually, when they actually bought it, how old was I when they actually bought a dining room set? I think I was 14. Something when they actually bought the dining room set with the chairs
and Charles was already gone.
Charles was there. He was there, but he was married. He was
married to Bernice? Yeah,
married Bernice or whatever.
So how was he? He was about 18, 19, married her?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. And so it wasn't that many little kids at that table. With the
big folks.
With the chrome legs and all of that.
Oh, y'all had one of them tables.
Yeah.
It's a 4 chair.
Yeah, 4 chairs.
So y'all got rid of the bench for 15 people to a 4 chair. So somebody wasn't sitting.
Yeah.
That's cruel.
Yeah. So Mom and them, we still had to sit down at that table or sit on the floor. The baby had to sit on the floor with the newspaper and stuff and eating out of his little cup and pan, putting stuff everywhere. But that's just the way it was. Mm-hmm.
So who was the 4 big people? Mama, Daddy, and 2 other people?
Mama never sit down. Mama never sit. I have never seen my mama sit down at the table and eat. I have seen her sit down and drink coffee, but I've never seen her sit down and eat.
She was too busy shoveling stuff up.
When she got through cooking and fixed everything on the table for the children to eat and everything. Everybody got one slice of salt pork, 1 biscuit. Or if it was a rabbit, 1 piece of rabbit. And stuff like that. So.
What else went with that? Rice? Beans?
Yeah, beans and greens, and hers mostly. She didn't care too much about the meat. She liked the greens and the beans. She'll pour grease over in hers.
For the flavor.
Yeah, I guess. And but she'll
to get that fat.
Eat. If it was a bucket top that she turned over, she'll eat that. Whatever little she ate out of it, she'll eat that.
You mean a bucket top like a 5-gallon pail?
Yeah, anything that she
chilling jug.
Yeah, it could be anything with a top that she could hold her food in if it wasn't a plate. Mm-hmm. But she did have plates. She did have dishes. She had some that she didn't let you touch. And she had some that she let you touch. If she broke it, it was just broke or whatever. Mm-hmm. But she that's the way she ate. I never actually see her just sit down at the table and eat a full meal like everybody else. She might eat a little bit, pick up a little bit then, and then eat later after the dish got washed, after the kids gone on out to play, and after I washed.
So this was early evening.
Yeah, me said after I washed the dishes.
Right, you was 14. You supposed to wash the dishes. You ain't want to do that. You ain't want to shuck no peas. You ain't want to.
Oh, baby.
You ain't want to shuck no corn. You ain't want to.
Nothing but shuckles at one time.
But you didn't want to wash no dishes.
I did wash.
You just wanted to get up to. Bernice was calling you.
I
Maddie May, we up here at on the floor and this is Slickhead, the engine looking boy down here. And I told him I got the...
No, I had to do all of that because Mildred and them wasn't big enough. Because remember, I'm 5 years older than Mildred.
Mm.
So I had to do all of that. I had to scrub the floor. I had, you scrub the floor, you put all that water down, the sweet
I do that now.
You do that now?
On my hands and knees, right
you
now.
Do?
Yeah, I don't use no mop in that. It's only 2 little areas, but it ain't like no whole big, mansion like y'all always had to mop with the wood floors and scrubbing. But
and Mama, she'll bore a hole in the corner somewhere.
So it can drain down.
Yeah, so it'll drain down on the ground, because they had them big blocks. The house was set up on them blocks. Yeah.
Wind come right up onto the floorboards in the wintertime.
Yeah.
I seen a movie or two.
Yeah, well, some of the movies you see is exactly how it was.
Now I'll be watching the documentaries though and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say I'm fascinated about that, but that's a strong interest
because
people don't know.
It was a everyday thing. People didn't really pay no attention. They had the heaters with the stove pipes. Everybody come in. You could just be got through scrubbing that floor, and to the best of your knowledge, here come a bunch of dad and his friend with blood and rabbits hanging from the bed.
You're right back at it, huh?
Right back at it again, yeah.
You're supposed to stop. You're supposed to throw your sponge down and
I revoke this.
Yeah, like y'all just see this floor. Go around the back there. And y'all would say that, huh?
Get on, Daddy. And Daddy, he was good to everybody. So when
he was good spirited.
15, and I was like Bro Wallace, though.
He was good spirited.
Yeah, he was just good to everybody. He just, and Miss Thomas and them, they lived down there. We had a TV and they didn't. So